everybody. It's Scott here, and I was going to do a video on the installation of my drip irrigation kit. I know there's a lot of these videos floating around the internet, but I never saw one that used it for the purposes I do, which is the water these pot plants, which I have about 100. As I've found out in this process, I have a little over 100 of these pot plants, and if you leave for the summer for a week and it doesn't rain, they can all dry out just that quick. I'm here in Houston, where 4 or 5 days without rain could pretty much kill any one of these plants, and 2 weeks without rain, they're all dead. And if I'm not around to water them, then I'll come back with no plants. So that's why I've been wanting to do one of these drip irrigation systems for years, and finally decided to go ahead and do it. And so I settled on this Rainbird, or I can't say settled on, this Rainbird system looked pretty good. I read a lot about it online. I really just wanted to buy the individual components I needed and put it together, but frankly, not having familiarity with the system, it's not really that easy. So I went ahead and bought the kit, and what you're probably going to find if you use this is that you probably should start with the kit, and there's going to be some parts of the kit you're not going to use, and some parts of the kit you're gonna have to buy many more of, and that's kind of what I did. So if you look at what the kit has in it, it's got some items for the hose, the backflow preventer, the pressure regulator, your various adapters, the 1/2-inch tubing, the 1/4-inch tubing. It's got these 1 GPH drippers, 2 GPH drippers. It's got these little micro bubblers. It only comes with 2 of them. They're like little bitty sprinklers. Then they also got some 360 and 180 degree sprinkler heads, which I really didn't use that much of, but they act just like a regular sprinkler. These are how you connect your 1/2-inch hose. I actually use none of these because I use one continuous run. These are your enclosures. I only use one of those because I only have one run. These are your galvanized metal stakes, which I used none of because you'll see the way I attached it. These are some T's and couplings and elbows, which I use none of because I couldn't really have any need for them. You got these goof plugs for when you make a mistake. I can tell you I used one of them and it actually didn't hold, so I ended up flex sealing that particular mistake. Here's your install tool, and your tubing stakes, which I used quite a bit of. And my system is mainly going to be, made up mainly of these tubing, mainly of these tubing stakes, which I had to buy many extras, and these 2 GPH emitters, which I think it comes with 10, and I ended up buying I think 120 more, and this is all I got left, and those will all probably be eventually used. So my system was, which is kind of how it works, I think, depending on what you're using it for. You might use all of one thing and less of another, and so forth. But here's the actual goof plugs I was talking about. Like I said, I used the one. These are little couplings for the 1/2-inch hose. I just have a continuous run 1/2-inch hose, as you'll see. And so these are various little barbs, which I could teach you one thing. If you want to put something like this in, the best thing to do is to put one of these in, because they barb in very well, and then pull it out, and then come back and put this one in. I find that true of the barbs that are on the end of the sprinklers. I find these are hard to go into the 1/2-inch hose, but I find if you put one of these little emitters in and then pull it out and then put one of these in, it's easier. So I'll show you my system, what I set up here. I know I wanted to do one of these for a while, so I took all my plants and kind of put them in a large square area, kind of here. That wasn't the best idea because then I tried to loop the 1/2-inch hose, and this is my water hose. Let me get that out of the way. So I tried to loop the 1/2-inch hose. It really wasn't the best way to do it. For one thing, you have to be able to get to the hose. You got to be able to get in there and maneuver your 1/4-inch tube around. So I backed out of that, and I realized the best thing to do is just to go ahead and mount your 1/2-inch hose in one straight run. So this is the end. This is your stopper. It just basically stops the end. These are some 1/2-inch pipe clamps, which don't come with the kit. I just had them lying around, which you'll see. I really like the way this attaches to the fence here. You really have to keep this system stable, whether it's laying directly on the dirt or connected. It's really got to be stable, because if it moves around, it's going to start yanking these little 1/4-inch tubes around, and if it pulls, you know, you start moving the tubes out of the pot, then you're not watering it. That's not what you want. So really, if you're not going to put them in the ground with those stakes, you should have some way to fix this 1/2-inch hose. So anyway, and this is here kind of for expansion, for when I want to expand my little bed here in the future. So that's why I have it run into here, but this is all dead. So here's where I got it in the feeding the little bed here. And what I have is this, one of these I use, this 180-degree sprinkler. And then here I use the both bubblers in here, because I want a little more water in here in the vegetable bed than anywhere else. And then also I think I have like 1-2 GPH in here. And then I ran a few of the 2 GPHs to the shallots and little holes. It's probably the only thing I really have left to do is maybe run a few more, so that each hole has its own water. I'll probably run a few to the front here. So the garbage can out of the way. So here you see it continues to run along the fence. And then when you get to the pots, it's pretty simple. Here, I got some of the 1 GPH emitters, the black, and which I used up all those. But when I bought additional ones, I just bought the 2 GPH. I haven't thought a lot about which plants need more and less water, because it's probably more than I really want to plan, but I figure as long as you're getting some water, and that's really, I don't want to overwater, so my intention is just to water enough so that when I'm away they won't die. And then when I come back, I'll give them the balance of the water they really need. So like I said, right now there's probably at least 100 of these emitters plugged in down this pipe. You kind of see it goes into every one. Here's where I have my oops, and I had to put some Flex Seal. See if they're working fine. So you go along here and basically run 1 to each pipe, or 1 to each plant. Put my little bug emitters on the end. Some of them I don't put the ends on, the tubes on, because they're falling right into the pot. There's no bug emitter. I don't really think the bugs are that big of a deal. So this is pretty much it. Just all the way to here. Here's the adapter that came with the system, and this is a hose I bought. And this gets a little kind of a rig up, because I just run it across here. I don't have to unplug it every time I mow the grass, but I couldn't figure out a better way to do it. And then it goes to my some of my kids are playing with it. Awesome. So it goes to my Orbit's automatic waterer, which did not come with the system. I bought it separately. So I think it was about 50, roughly speaking, it was about 50 bucks. The kit was about 50 bucks, and I probably spent about 50 bucks in additional pieces, parts that I needed. So it's probably got about 150 bucks in this, which, I guess 110 plants, if you gave them value at $10 a piece, it's clearly something I need to take care of. So it's a business case. So anyway, so the way this works, I have it set up to water 3 days a week for 60 minutes. But you can hit this manual, and it's gonna run for 10 minutes, which I set it up to run for 10 minutes every time I hit manual. So you hear it popped on, and now the water's flowing. So there you can kind of see this is what 2 GPH looks like flowing out of there. Some of these, where I could get away without putting a hose, I did. I had to buy additional hose as well. I used up all the hose, had to buy some additional. So here, I got 2 going to this one. As time goes on, I'll probably try to think it out a little better. Move the plants around to make sure the ones that need the extra water get it. So you see these. And I have found, I guess it's not rocket science, but I have found that the more you put in there, the flow does lessen. reason I say that is because if you go out to the 180-degree sprinkler I got here, this is the first thing I put in because I kind of built it backwards. I just remember that when I first ran it, it was running a lot stronger than this, and now with all the other ones, it's not running as strong, which is fine. I really try to water the ground, not the plants. So in there you can see my little bubblers, I think they call them in there. So I get my phone wet. So you see the little bubblers in there. So they're giving the garden a little more water than anything else. So I got 2 of those in the vegetable garden. Like I said, plus this 180-degree emitter. It's or sprinkler. Like I said, I haven't really had much use for the other sprinklers. You can see this guy just watering a shallot here. I'll probably eventually have to run one of those every shallot, but see that the sprinkler's getting some of these, so probably run one of these over here if they don't have any water, so I'll fix that up later. But anyway, this is kind of a little system I have. I'm just going to do this 3 days a week for an hour. Should be enough to keep them. Like I said, overwatering can be an issue, so I'd rather underwater a tad, keep them alive, and then, like I said, when I'm back in town, I can water the balance and get them increase the water if necessary. Like I said, my goal here is just to keep them from completely drying out while I'm out of town. So that's my system. Like I said, I think it's if you want to put one like this, probably the best way to start is to go and get the kit. But I guess technically, if I just had the 50-foot hose, the 1/4-inch tube, 2-inch 2 GPH emitters, and maybe 1 or 2 bubblers, and these little stakes here. I just had the stakes, and plus the stakes. That's probably all I really needed for the system. But anyway, so like I said, if you're thinking about a system like this, hope this gives you some ideas or let you know kind of how it can be done. Like I said, I think it's roughly 110 plants I have here, which I really had no idea I had that many plants. So I had to buy an emitter for each one of them.